I think we should be going live on both Twitch and YouTube by now. So let me just do it like this. And I should probably also pick up the YouTube chat. Pull up a second chat in a new window. Boom. Let's see. I really need to get an overlay working. Yeah, it should be fine. Something like that. Hey May, welcome. Let's see if we're already live on YouTube as well. It's not showing the preview, but we should be live. Let me also pull up here. Yep, that works. And streamception like this. And I should probably also do twitch.tv just to make sure that everything's working. But it looks fine. Yep, I think we're live. Okay, let me pull up a drink. And then let's get ready to do Advent of Code Day 9. I'm out of milk for my cappuccino, so I'm drinking some cola today. Okay, let's see. I probably need to I think I have this on a different desktop, so let's see what happens when I do that. So I need to minimize this and this and this and this, and then I need to take Advent of Code, and I probably need to pull this to this desktop here. So yeah, I think that's the trick there. Let me pull up the code here. Should probably make this fill the screen. So yeah, I refactored bits of yesterday's code. I wrote this function map all as grid locations, where you can pass in which kind of markers you want to ignore. In this case, our empty marker. Because this is a way where we don't know exactly everything that will be on the map, but we want to group by those characters anyway. And I did it in a roundabout way yesterday to calculate which kind of characters there are by having a group by and a count. But I figured, yeah, let's just write an extension function to make it a bit cleaner. And I think I did some layouting here to post it to Reddit, so now it's a bit more readable. So now the whole parsing becomes, okay, let's split it into lines for our raw map and map, because we use that to look up. We do map all as grid locations to create a list of sparse maps, which is basically a dictionary of the character that we found, and then all the locations where it occurred. And part 1 and part 2 are basically these simple functions. The try add does a check, am I inside of the map bounds that we've given? And the part 2, it basically kept doing that until it goes off map, right? Hi Marte, welcome. Nice to see you again. Smap probably won't be joining us today because he's getting his new internet. So he posted earlier today a version of his code that he wasn't too proud of, but we'll take a look at it anyways later on. So yeah, now the part 1 and part 2 are basically the same code with a slight variation. I could probably refactor this to do like part 1 and part 2 in one go, but yeah, it's fine. So yeah, I think we should start reading day 9. And I think I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit first, because it's getting a bit hot in here. So I'll be back in a second. So especially when I start stressing about my code, I tend to get hot. So yeah, make sure my glasses are clean as well. Helps with reading. Okay. Let's see, disk, day 9, disk fragmenter. Amartya says, yep, saw that. I'm also sort of AFK, still at work, debugging input in Unreal. So forgive me for not paying too much attention. I guess I'll rewatch later to understand everything. No worries, it's really appreciated a lot that you're here, keeping me company in any shape. So that's, tell your friends, bring them, or co-workers. I'll keep them occupied while you work. Yeah, disk fragmenter. Another push of the button leaves you in the familiar hallways of some friendly amphipods. This all harkens back to previous years. This is 2021, day 23. Okay. Good thing you each somehow got your own personal mini submarine. The historians jet away in search of the chief, mostly by driving directly into walls. And Luke says hi from YouTube. Hi Luke. Luke is also going to be AFK in a bit because he's going to work out in the gym. So, but it's nice of you to drop by for a bit. And I heard today wasn't too complicated, so let's see how far we can get before you have to go again. Boom, 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 boom. The historians jet away in search of the chief, mostly by driving directly into walls. While the historians quickly figure out how to pilot these things, you notice an amphipod in the corner struggling with his computer. He's trying to make more contiguous free space by compacting all of the files, but his program isn't working. You offer to help. He shows you the disk map, your puzzle input. He's already generated, for example, and then it's a bunch of numbers. And Luke is also watching on Twitch. Hey, Luke. Noata says, believe me, I tried to bring some people and make them do Advent of Code. I don't know why they don't want to. Yeah, me neither. If you love programming, Advent of Code is chef's kiss. The disk map uses a dense format to represent the layout of files and free space on the disk. The digits alternate between indicating the length of a file and the length of free space. So, a disk map like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would represent 1 block file, 2 blocks of free space, 3 block file, 4 blocks of free space, and then a 5 block file. A disk map like 90909 would represent 3 9-block files in a row with no free space between them. Each file on disk also has an ID number, based on the order of the files as they appear before they are rearranged, starting with ID 0. So the disk map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has 3 files, 1 block file with ID 0, a 3 block file with ID 1, and a 5 block file with ID 2. Sure. Using 1 character for each block, where digits are the file ID and a period is free space, the disk map represents these individual blocks. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that makes sense. The first example above, blah blah blah, represents these individual blocks. Okay. The amphipod would like to move files between blocks one at a time from the end of the disk to the leftmost free space block until there are no gaps remaining between file blocks. For the disk map 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the process looks like this. Okay. The first example requires a few more steps. So actually this is not defragmenting because you're breaking up the file. So normally when you defragment, you make sure that you move blocks without breaking them. Okay, so this basically just shifts 1 over each time. The final step of this file compacting process is to update the file system checksum. To calculate the checksum, add up the result of multiplying each of the block's positions with the file ID number it contains. The leftmost block is in position 0. If the block contains free space, skip it instead. Frag.exe, yeah. Continuing the first example, the first few blocks position multiplied by its ID number are 0 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0, 2 times 9 is 18, okay. In this example, the checksum is the sum of these 192. So let's copy that for later on. Compact the amphipod hard drive by using the process you requested. What is the resulting file system checksum? Okay. So basically, this means you fill up data by splitting up that thing. Hmm. Ah, okay, that was this example. This was the smaller one. But still, you can tell here it has 9, 9. So then it puts the 8 here. So then you have two spots with the ID of 8. So basically, first what we need to do is there's a lot of stuff that we need to do. But basically, you have a like the drive has a content table of files. But files can exist in multiple positions. So basically, we will have like a drive, we have a file. The file will consist of multiple indices. So you will have like blocks, and the block starts at a position, has a length, and then a file ID. So the file can consist of multiple blocks. I think that's not sure if we want to, if I make the drive have blocks or the drive have files, or that we do a file system in between and do both. But yeah, either way, it will be fun. I'm already feeling it. And no, this won't be a short day for me because I will go way overboard with this. I can already tell. But fun shall be had nonetheless. 9, 9, 9. Jawohl, jawohl, jawohl. It's a little German joke. Let's see. Famous last words. Yeah, always. Boom, 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 boom. No, but I like this kind of. I like this kind of puzzle. I don't have any code that helps me with this already, so I'll start work from the start. So we'll have a public record drive, and I like to watch it. Yeah, nice. That's my daughter, by the way. Hoyame. She liked this shout out last time, so let's do it again. Let's see. We have a public record block and a public record file. Yeah, sure. We might get into namespace conflicts, but we don't have system.io file imported anyways yet, so that will be fine. So a block will have a public uint index. And a public, I'll just make it longs anyway. Let's not length. I assume it's not gonna be this size, but it's fine. Boom, 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 boom. This will be a public, do I call it an I collection? Do I call it a list? Does it really matter? It can just be a list of blocks, sure. We can have a public ulong total size. This will be a public a file has an index. I almost forgot. Public uint do I call it uint file ID? Come on. Something tells me that this doesn't need to be this big, but it's fine. So we have a public uint file ID. And we can also have a public uint sequence. I could probably make this like a linked list as well, but let's not go too crazy yet. So this will be public, and this will be an optional file ID, because if this one is empty, so can public bool is free space has value. Inverse of that, of course. File ID doesn't have a value. This is a free space block. So we have a public list of blocks, and this might need to be indexed, but it's fine. Public long total free space. Actually, I can just say size used free. Boom, 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 boom. Hey Richard, welcome. Nice to have you here. And I see that the chat is overlapping here, so I still need to make this a bit smaller. I actually quickly looked at the Twitch API yesterday. They have now have a WebSocket system where you can subscribe to events and stuff. So I was like, well, maybe I should build a client and build like a custom overlay that does stuff. But yeah, I barely have time as it is to stream Advent of Code. But it starts to tingle to make stuff like that, you know, to make it all nice and cool. To have like a live subscriber count on YouTube. Subscribe, by the way, if you're not subscribed. And Twitch follows and stuff like that. I think that would be nice. But that's for later. Richard said, well, I've done today so I can enjoy your stream. Nice. Amartya says, connect events to emulate keyboard and make us all solve your ASC. Well, I actually already built that a few years ago. I was watching somebody stream a game where you had to like put in arrow keys to solve a puzzle in a maze, and people were typing in chat like, go there, do this, do that. And I was like, we can do this better. So I made like a Twitch Plays program where you could set up a WebSocket connection and host a website where people could input keys, and that would then do stuff on your PC, and I would limit it hard-coded to like the keys that you allowed, so you could specify which keys would be allowed. It then translates that and checks it against a local so that you can't exploit that. So I already built that, and I also built like for a streamer that always got into trouble because chat was trying to save him, and then he goes off like for 10 minutes getting stuck. So also built something that would like pop up, hey, chat really wants you to pay attention, stuff like that. So yeah. I already built that, so I could do that. Have like a Twitch Plays Advent of Code and just have you put in all the code. So we could do that. It's not that hard. It's fun. So let me see. I'll just make a public void recalculate. So I can do size is blocks sum x dot length. And I think it doesn't like the ulong, so I probably need to convert it to long because there's no ulong support. And then I need to convert this to ulong. See how it bites you in the ass when you try to do stuff like this. And then we can do used is where x is free space. Boom. And we can do the same for free is where it is free space. And now we can do if used plus free doesn't equal to size, throw new application exception, program does not know how to do math properly. So, yeah. Okay. So we probably also want to have like a public static block, drive parse string raw. It's not dive but drive. Var result is drive result is new. Return result. Let me check the input. Is it still single digit numbers? Yeah, okay. Everything is a single number. That's already more code than my part 1 and part 2 together. Yeah, that can be, but I really like doing this in a way like this. I'm having fun. Sorry, Luke, I know you have to go in like 3 minutes, but I enjoy this. I'm not rushing here to get to the end. I'm just trying to make a fun solution. So yeah, let's see. For int I is 0, i's length is rather length. I is more than length is I know what Luke says. Boom, 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 boom. So the format is format file length alternating with empty space length. IDs are incremental. So what we could do here actually is we can do if I mod 2 equals 0 file, but you don't want to do that because that's very inefficient. And you can also do like you could do like bool is file is this, and then you can int id is I divided by 2, because that will round down to the number, so that will give you the file IDs. But then you do a lot of operations that you don't need to do, so I'll just keep track of everything here. So I can just do like a what did we say for file ID? uint file ID is 0. This, and then we have the file ID. So what we can do is is that true? What was 0 again? 0 was after, right? I think. No, it's 0 base. Okay. So what I can do is so you can do int length. Well, it's a byte length. And since it's always just a single digit, all these things basically become like a byte. At least for the block. So this one becomes like the length is just a byte in length. Yep. So we can do, we can always do length is, and I can do byte ASCII offset is byte 0. So you can do length is raw I minus this. And it doesn't like it when you do actually no like this. So if it's a character, so you don't have to parse it. It just becomes this because we know the range of values. So if it is file, that also doesn't matter because we need to create a new block. So we do result blocks add new block. Let's make a constructor for that as well, don't you think? I will listen in the car. You have a good one, and thanks for keeping me company still while driving and gymming, and thanks for the well wishes. Let's see, we do file ID is, and we can do file ID ++, so that means we increment after we return it. Normally I always use the different version, but this is fine. No, that's wrong, because if it's file ID is file, then we do file ID ++, else null. Index is I, length is length, and then sequence is 1. Or we can call it, we can just make that 0 based, because right now every file consists of just one block, so that is fine. And basically, if the length is 0, we don't need to add it. I just wonder, what if there's like every odd number cannot be 0. Cannot be 0, right? Because yeah, every even number, because we start at 0. Let's say if length is 0 and is file, let's do this the other way around. Throw new application files should not have 0 lengths. Otherwise we need to check if we need to also increment the ID or not. And here we can do if is file or length larger than 0. Now we add this. Yes. So this should parse that out. This is a block. This is actually a file, sorry. Let's see that I do this well. File block is this. If is file, result files. Let's do it like this. Result.files.add new file. I can do ID, it is a bit weird, but ID is block.file ID. Blocks is this with block. And then we have total size is length in this case, because, yeah, let's see, cannot implement dot value here because we know this must be value. Null one, no, it may not be null. And there are compiler hints, and SMAP would told me by now. Let's see. Amartya says, I wonder if C# compiler would find out that it can replace the ++ field with by itself. Maybe. And for those that don't know, like if you do number versus number the former is easier. It's better when you don't use the value, because the plus in the end has to do an extra operation. But those are micro optimizations that don't really matter and usually are best left to the compiler, but I still do it. But yeah, most likely compiler will sort this out and do it by itself. I think this is all the parsing to parse the thing into files. So I can do a public override to string, and we can do string builder sb is new, return sb to string. We can do for each var block in blocks index. Nineberry, hey Nineberry, welcome. And Ryushinaka, sorry, says, I feel like there is a SIMD solution to this, but that seems overkill a bit. What was I doing? I'm building out the format that Advent of Code does, so I can do if I can do sb.append, and this would be new string block.is free space, then it would be a period, otherwise it would be file ID value, comma, and then this will be block.length. Sure. And then we need to have, because that's a single character, that's fine. So this would then do that part. Let's see. Part 1. Var disk is disk.parse. Why doesn't it like this? Drive. Never mind. Drive.parse. Input. Nope. Input. Console.writeLine. Disk. Let's make sure that we run day 9. And let's see what happens. I need to new it up here. Like this. Should also do recalculate, by the way, just for fun. Disk.recalculate. I can do used free free total size. Let's try this again. And now I need to switch back to my other desktop to make sure that the output is now, which one is that? I think this one. Yep, like this. Okay. So now, Do we get the same dot dot 111 dot dot 2 dot 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 333 dot 4? So yeah, looks like my code works. It generates the same representation, so at least that's part of the fun. So now we just need to go backwards. And we don't have to do it character by character. I can just take the file size, the files, and then split it into blocks, and then so that will be interesting. So let's see if I run it again, if the output comes to this screen as well. Not that it switches. Okay, I'm using multiple Windows desktops just to isolate the things here for streaming, so I had to make sure that it would pop up on the correct desktop. So yeah, now the actual difficult part. Now we need to fill up the gaps with files starting with the last ones. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. So let's see. Var free space is disk blocks where there is free space, order by x.index. Like this. Okay. Now we also need to have the files in reverse order. So we have a list file files is disk.files order by descending. I can just do ID because that's fine. Now I do I wonder what happens when I try to move something and it just doesn't fit, right? Let me think. For each, actually I can just delete it from this list when they're processed, so that's fine. I use 2 pointers. Hey Bruce, been a while. For each var free space free space. Actually, I can just make this a queue, right? Queue. Doesn't it like that? Let's just do new queue, and I can start with this. Let me just check to make sure that the no spoilers, please. Oh, yeah, no worries. Let's see. File to move is files.dq. That is fine. Now I just need to make sure that I split this up, etc. Let me just make sure like the to move has the highest ID. Yes, so this will be the last one in this list. That is fine. Okay. Let's see. If block dot length is larger or equal to move.length, and this one it's file fits, else file needs to be split into pieces. Okay. And I can basically do a since it will always be just small blocks, so that doesn't matter. So we can do byte length to move is to move dot total size. Yes, I know. Yeah, I can just shorten this, and that will be fine. And I can do byte let's see. In this case, let's see, byte remaining free space. So I can do remaining free space is block.size, length, also good. So I can do remaining free space larger than remaining length to move. Now we can do remaining free space minus equals length to move. Which means we need to create a new block. So we do var block is new block, where file ID is to move dot file dot ID. Length is also length to move. Index is, that's a good one. So that one becomes block.index plus, and now we take block.length minus remaining free space. So that becomes the index there. What is it complaining about? And all of this wraps into a let me stop running for now. What is it complaining about? Block maybe null here, cannot use local variable before it's used. Moved block. Okay, sorry. Moved block. We have long. It's fine. Everything is fine. So let's set it up over multiple lines so that you can still read it. Now I need to do this after that I build this, or it won't make sense. If remaining free space is 0, now we continue. But we should probably make this like a while remaining free space larger than 0. Like this. File fits. So now we do this, and now we do to move is files.dq. If files are Yeah, they should never run out, basically, right? Actually, it might. Well, files dot count locked in 0. Break, actually. This, and then we also need to set up the length to move as well. File needs to split into pieces. I also need to update this file, actually. I actually don't need to create a new block. That's only for here. New block. Because if it fits, I don't need to actually create a new block. I just need to say to move dot index. Index is this. But we don't know per se that it's haha. Let me see. So it's actually a block that we. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. No, because the file will only have one block. Can it have more blocks? It can have more blocks. So it can also do like block index. Let's just do it like this. We call it move block index. Yeah, like this. We call it move block index. So otherwise we'll add a block to the file and then we do a increment here. Let me see. We do this, it's fine. We also set, if it's completed, is we reset this back to 0. So it needs to be pieces, yes. So this one will be the first block. We probably need to, yes. Because this now, the new block becomes like sequence 1. Sequence becomes to move dot blocks count -1. Because we will, this will be the new one, and we will change the current one that's in there. So we do sequence, and we actually increment that. Do we need to shift more? I think we only need to like increment that value. And we need to change the length here as well. Length is remaining free space. Yeah, we don't care about this because remaining free space here is 0. Let me see. No, that was incorrect what I did there. Like this. Here it returns to 0 because we use the remaining free space becomes 0. 0, and we do the existing length actually becomes the remaining free space, and the length to move needs to be subtracted. Yeah, minus equals the remaining free space. So this becomes 0, then the loop will go on. And we need to insert this block like this. So we do this, file to move, sorry, move.blocks.insert and this becomes move block index, comma, yeah, like this. No, wait. Yeah. So this one adds it in front, and then the one that gets shortened becomes the next block that we move. So then we increment that. So we target that again. The index needs to shift there as well, because the index becomes, for this one as well, dot index plus equals the remaining free space here. So if I just, it might be a little bit hard to follow, but what I try to do is that the block that's in that file, I make sure that the stuff that gets reallocated, the existing block, I make sure that I shift over the index, because we took out this much of the existing file already, so we shift it over. We make sure that the index gets added up, because there will be a block in front of it now that's moved. Let's see, I think this is all correct, but I will have to see what happens after I then do this again, like boom. Console that right line after moving. Let's see what happens then. So now it's nice that we have a visualizer so that we can actually compare. So this is if we can totally move it, we do it, we move to the next one. If there's no files, otherwise we keep processing this. We keep doing this for as long as there is free space and for as long as there are files. And I think I got this correct, but it's a whole lot of magic right now. So let's run this and see where it blows up. Okay, it didn't blow up. Let's see what it did. It also didn't work. So yeah, I probably have to step through this. It did something, but stuff just disappeared, so that's cool. No, wait. My visualizer is probably wrong. My toString function. I didn't add. I added the blocks to the file, but I didn't add them to the disk. So like I created a new block here, and I also need to do disk.blocks.add new block. All right, so let's run this again. Let's see. Not quite, but it did something. It made the disk bigger. So let's see. Is my output there, is this correct? Ordered by blocks.index. Yeah. Let's see. It takes a free space index, so that is fine. It updates it. Yeah, okay, so let's just step through it to make sure my logic is correct. Okay. So now we have a free space block. Index 0, length 3. Okay, wait. That's wrong. Index should be 0, 1. Index should be 2 here. So that is wrong. Index is 0 everywhere. Okay, so I don't set the index properly. Let me see. In my parser. I just have index 0 here. How correct of me. Let's see if this helps. Okay, looks better. So it did stuff, but not the way it should. But stuff happened. Should it end with 5s? No, it should end with 6s there. So yeah, you can see 99, 888, 77, 66, 44. It did stuff. Now let's find out why it was wrong. Boom. Let's see. The file that we want to move is ID 9 and it's of size 2. And it starts at index 18. Okay. The free space starts at index 1 is of length 2. That is incorrect. It starts at index 2. Yeah, I'm an idiot here because I don't actually track the index properly. Boom, 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 boom. So let's do u long index is 0 because that's what I needed to do with this. Boom, boom, boom. Index plus equals length. That should solve that part. So this block should have index 2. Okay. So what happens if I run it now? Does it look better? Close. No cigar. I know what happened. If I do this, I need to remove the block because I used it. So I'm an idiot there. So I need to make sure that I need to do disk.blocks.remove block. We fully used the block, so remove it. And let's do this here to make sure that we don't hit this condition before we do. So now if I run this again, it will not be complete because there will be partial there. So I will have to fix the last one, but it will look better. So yeah, now I need to actually this block index also needs to shift every time we use it. Block.index plus equals length to move. So much stuff to keep track of. Mama Ply says clever. Oh, thank you. I'm trying. So that moves that one. Basically, I always need to do that. Same here.
Actually, I did it the wrong way around, because here I didn't fully use it. I fully use it here. So that's the wrong way around. And this one shifts that. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, let me run that again. Better. Still not completely correct, but better. Let me step through it just so that I can debug it logically. Okay, in this case, we have a file that we want to move. The to move length is 2 and our block size is also 2. So they fit, no, it's 3. So, okay. Boom, 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 boom. That only has 1, so that is fine. So the index changes from 40 to index 2. Yes. Remaining free space becomes 1. Yes. And this block's index, so this is the one with the free space, becomes 4. Yes, because there will be a single block empty there. We still have files, so take in the next that we want to move. Length to move becomes updated is 4, and the move block index gets reset. So remaining space is 3. We don't have enough room, so we make a new block of length 1, I think. That's wrong. This will be remaining free space here, because we can't fit it wholly, so we use the whole available space. So the index should be the index is actually block.index. So this one is wrong, because we fixed that in another way. The block will always have the updated index of where it starts, and the sequence is blocks.count -1, so this becomes the 0 block, which isn't correct because we already have a block there. So this one just becomes count because we add it, and the new block, yes, that one gets added. The existing one was moved over, so that is fine. We just add it there. Let me think. I should probably, instead of doing this, just take out all the blocks that need to be moved and just process that one by one, because that just makes it easier. Yeah, we don't need to care about any of this actually. So this doesn't matter. To move this also doesn't matter. Remaining free space is good. Let's see, to move blocks. No, I already the disk added. I can also just do to move the blocks that add new block, because that's just the same. That's fine. Yeah, that's that one fully removed, but I also need to just remove the file that we're moving and all the blocks from there, because I'm just making it harder than it is, because basically what we do is just take out all the blocks and just put them in again in any size that they fit. So I'm making that harder than it is. So it is to move basically what I need to do is just everything total size yes, and then we can do for each var block in to move dot blocks. Then we do a disk dot blocks dot remove block, because we will add them again. And after this we can do move dot blocks dot clear. Remove because we will re-add them. Haha, actually this technically turns into a free disk block. Oh, why am I making this so complicated? So basically what I should do is find the block that precedes it and then just extend that one, because that one will be a new bigger empty block to keep it consistent. Nice. Yeah, actually I should do that because it needs to be consistent. And I should probably try to merge. For now, what I will just do is I will just say for each block I can do file ID is null. This makes them empty, and then I clear them. Now there are blocks, and I should probably have something that just makes them contiguous. So to do make an actual defrag function. Actually, let's do that. It's fun. Side quest. Public int defrag. Int defrag count is 0. Return defrag count. So let's do this and just walk through all the blocks. So we do for each. For ordered is blocks of order by x dot index. Let's create a new list of all the blocks in order. Now we just walk through them. For each var block in ordered. Okay. Bool previous was file. Ordered dot okay. Like this. Okay. For each if block dot is free space, and let's just make okay. Previous was free space. Let's get back. Previous was free space. Combine them. So we can do. I need to actually have the index. 4 int I is 0. Lan is ordered dot count. I smaller than lan. Increment I. Okay. we want to stop at the last one because we will always look one ahead. So now I can do boom, if ordered I is free space and ordered I plus 1 is free space. Now we can do ordered I dot length plus equals ordered I plus 1 dot length, and then we can do blocks remove ordered I plus 1. Now we can increment over it, and then it should skip that one, right? Now this is still annoying. Should probably just keep track of previous block. Sorry. So let's do block previous block is ordered 0 like this. Now we do for each var block in ordered dot skip 1. We do it like this. If block dot is free space and previous block that is free space, then we do previous block dot length plus equals block dot length. We do blocks dot remove block, and now we don't update the previous one, else previous block is block like this. I think that should be the logic. And in this case we do increment the frag count. Right? So this one will try to take out the ones that don't do it. So okay, let me do, after this is all done, we have this, and let's do int defrag count is this defrag console.writeLine defrag count. So this is the problems that we create for ourselves. Okay. So yeah, we removed all of those. We turned them into free space, and we need to do this the same for this one, where we do the if we pick up the new to move, yeah, like this. To move the block. If there's more, we do this. That is fine, and then we do this. I don't think we need to have this index anymore, actually. Oh yeah, we always need to add it, so we don't need to do this anymore, but we do need to add the new block just because we changed it. So the logic stays the same. Index becomes still this. No, we actually, let's see, block index is shifted, so this still remains just block index, like this, because that will have been shifted up. Sequence will just be, yeah, the current list already. That is fine, that is fine, that is fine. Yeah, I think this should be correct now. Let's run this. Okay. Not quite. It did defrag some problems that we created, but I still seem to be keeping on, holding on to some things that shouldn't be there. So that's interesting. Let's look further. Amarte says, I'm off to go home. We'll watch later. See you and good luck. Yeah, thank you. As you see, I'm making it very complicated for myself. So, boom, 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 boom. Let's step through it and make sure that this works as expected. So, the first block fits. The to move won't have any blocks, right? So we have no blocks, and the disk will, yeah, the 9s are already missing there. So the toString that you can see, it's already missing the 9s there, so that is fine. So now we add them, and disk, and this is weird because the free space, no, the free space hasn't been removed yet, so you can see the update actually every time. It's also because it's not fully moved yet. This block isn't updated yet, so the index is now shifted, and the length, this block length also needed to be shortened, because this is the block that we like the remaining free space here. So block.length is remaining free space, because this one got shortened. So if we do this, set next statement. Okay, so now if we look at disk, it should, now you can see it's 0, 0, then the 3 9s, which is incorrect, because the length is actually, it needed to be length to move. Man, I copied that from the other one, that's why this was wrong. Okay, let's go back. Let's do this again. And now I'm really happy that I put the toString overload there, because it helps, right? Okay, so now if you look at disk, it should have 0099 period. Okay, this is correct. Oh, this is wrong because I nuked it there. I already did that. I need to make sure. Oh no, this is the never mind. This is the next one. Okay, wait. I'll just run this now because I changed a bunch of stuff. So maybe now it's better than before. So yeah, this looks better, but there's still some issues here. Let's see. So we have the 00998, then 111, 8882, 77, 336, 446. But then something messes up with the 5s. So we're getting there, but not quite. Almost there. So we should probably run till it gets to the 6s. Let's see. So now the next to move is 8, 7, now it's 6. Okay. So what is special about this one? It has a length of 4. It starts at 27. So the disk right now, this looks good, right? So we have 33.44.555.666. Okay, so up till here, it looks pretty good, right? If I just take this. Come on. Oh, it really doesn't like it when I do this. So now I have my own code here. So up until here it's fine. So now it needs to start putting the 6 here, the 6 there, and then the 6 here, and then use the rest of the white space. But it probably needs to shuffle the white space, or it runs out of white space. Let me see. Because it can't fully process this 6, right? That's part of the issue. It can't fully process itself, and then something messes up. Let's see what happens. So the file is nuked, so now it becomes white space, so that is fine. We clear them. Boom. Remaining white space is not 0. File split count is 6. That's interesting. Didn't I dequeue those? Let's see. Switch bar, space. Okay. Oh yeah, the rest never moves, right? I need to make sure that that is a break condition, of course. Once the free space index is larger than the file, yeah, that makes sense. So that's also something that I should check here before taking on a new file when the file fits. Sure, to move is this. If to move dot blocks 0.index is smaller than file, no, what do we call block? Block.index. Then we can do files.clear probably, and break. Moved past the current available free space. Let's see if I add this, what happens. There's still a case that I need to fix probably, but let me just make sure. How does this look? That looks better. I just need to finish filling up this part. Because this one triggers at the 5s, right? Yeah, makes sense. Now I just need to make sure that I handle the 6 case properly, because there's something there that I need to fix. Let's see. 8, 7, 6. Okay. So we need to move 4. Move block index 0. Okay. So this is index 18 length 1. Okay. It's not long enough. So we create one for there for length 1. length to move. So we need to move 3 more. Remaining free space, get that. Move block index is good. I don't think we actually need to move block index, but that's fine. Disk.block, so remove block. This one is the one, yeah, that's free space one, that's fine. So the next block, how long is it? It's also 1 block. That is fine. We take another one. So we should have 2 more. This one gets removed. Ah, okay, but the issue is we go past, we are past the start of our current one. That's why they get spread out. So let me see if I run to the end here. Let me just run. Do they have 6 values there? So yeah, 6, 6. The issue is that part of the thing needs to be put here. So what I could do is run it again. Or I should find a way to handle this case where you just say, okay, if the block that we're doing, like this one is what I was at, right? This is the case where it started, right? Where was the 6 started? 7. Okay, here is where the 6 started. The 6's end here. So probably once it tries to add something past where it should, it should stop. Because basically it takes out this one and then places it here because this is the next free space, but it doesn't know that it already reclaimed some free space. What is the best way to handle that case? I mean, I could leave it as this and then check how many free space blocks there are, and when there's more than one, just run it again. I mean, that's an option. And I should actually have this logic on the code there. So I can just make this a function of the disk, of the drive here. So I have the defrag, but I can also do public, let's change this. This is defrag empty space. And I can have a public void defrag, like for real. And this one becomes, all the references to disk can go. So it's like this. Okay. So now what I can do is just boom, 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 boom. Defrag. And I can do while disk dot blocks dot count is free space larger than 1 disk dot defrag, and I can just do int pass is 0, console, right line, defrag pass, pass, like this, boom, and then I can do I could do something like that. Okay, and that messes up completely. That's nice. Pause, break. So the first time it does this, then how does this happen? Because basically all it had to do was take this one and put it here. So I guess this isn't the solution, but it's weird that when calling it again, I break it. Interesting. And now I kind of want to know what happens the second time. Oh. Okay, let's see. I ordered them by ID. That's not correct. I need to order them descending by index. Haha. Blocks 0.index. Still broken, but at least it doesn't shift those around. So what happens if I let this run for a few times? Boom. Let's see. It will alternate between those two. Oh, let's see what this does. I've never done this before, so let's see what happens. And I probably need to pull up Twitch. How am I gonna do this without getting feedback? So, thanks for re-rating me after rating you yesterday. I just have no idea what's happening now. Because there was like a request to join, and I don't know how that works. And my daughter says Amelie is watching too now. So both my daughters are watching. And welcome all the raiders. Let's see. Satya says C#. I think I need to expand this. So yeah. Hello raiders, welcome. How did you do? Ayan is also joined. You found the loudest keyboard on the market. Thanks. So yeah, she hit me up yesterday after the stream on Twitter, so that was really nice of you. And no worries about yesterday. Let's also just pull up twitch.tv/here. So if you're not familiar yet, she also does Advent of Code. And I think she just finished with day 9. Can't see how long it took, but I'm struggling with this one because I try to have fun and a proper, write like a disk file system, etc. Nuene says, hey, oh my god, I can't work out this raid stuff at all. Yeah, no worries. I had the same when I raided Captain Coder 2 days ago, I think. I also hit that button. I was like, okay, I will ignore your request to join, but I think you're trying to raid me. So I got to raid and run because I have to go out, but it's fun to counter. Yeah, it's really appreciated. Thanks and hello everybody to the raiders. I did finish both parts. It was tough. Yeah, so I can quickly show you maybe before you run. I made a thing and it does infinite loops now. But it basically, I got up to this part and I just need to handle this last case correctly. So I wrote something that prints out in the same format. So I made a drive and I made blocks and I made files. So the drive has files, a file has blocks, the drive also has the blocks directly. And I made something to defrag the empty white space because my moving algorithm, what I basically did, I would just take all the candidates to move from back to front. Satya says, damn, you're going all in on this. That's really nice. Yeah, I try to have fun with this, right? I could code something and just try to get it quickly, but I like doing it like this. So I made like a toString. So I made a parser that makes all the blocks, and I have something to recalculate the free space. So I took it as finding a bit of a drive. And when it says yes, I remember finding the last single character a bit of an issue. Yeah, I can work it out, but it's a bit annoying right now. But when I read the assignment, the Advent of Code assignment, it was like, okay, it's nice to have just implement it as is, having all the file IDs and having like the logic to expand it. And when you do it like this, and you can actually just compare it to what it says here, then you know, okay, I've parsed it correctly. So I have the use blocks, the free blocks, total size of the drive, and then okay, I had the defrag working because I just injected it into the HTML here when I was testing. So you can still see a faulty one. Let me see. I think my bad one was still in there. I just added it, the HTML of the website to list the thing that I was working on. So you can see it goes correctly up until here, and then it just needs to handle that last case, and it just needs to put it there. But instead, it moves to the next white space, which is here. So all of this is now white space, and it's just moved, and yeah, it becomes a bit messy, but it's fine. Lugong1 says, yeah, it's better to have things like this to make early days more fun. Yeah. Satya says, that's fair. I mean, that's what it's all about, having fun. Yeah, same. Nineberry says, I remember watching Microsoft defrag and MS-DOS moving around blocks on the screen for hours. Yeah, same here. Defragging before SSDs was a thing. Now it actually with trim enabled, etc. It's better to not defrag your SSDs, but yeah. That used to be a thing, like screensavers. Actually, screensavers are coming back now because of OLED. So, Strawberry Starlight says defrag was fun to watch. Yeah, for sure. And don't mind my janky stream setup. I just have like separate overlays that I power up. Let me see. I just put it like this. Okay. So yeah, let's handle this last case. Because my idea was, okay, if it does this and I end up with this, let's just feed it the defrag again. But then we run into the issue where, how do you call it? This file is now part of 2 blocks, or multiple blocks actually. And I need to make sure that the ones that are already aligned don't get moved again. So I should probably have some logic in my defrag, and it's getting quite a lot of code that I need to clean up later. We need to actually know the first empty block, and let's just make that a function here. Public block, and this can be empty, first empty block. Let's just do blocks.where, no, blocks.single or no. Let's think. Order by x dot index first or default x that is free space, like this. Right, so we we order all the blocks by index, and I should probably just make this a linked list, but it's fun. For now, it's okay. Let's hope this code won't also run for hours. Haha, yeah, that might be a next issue. So we order it by index, and then we take the first one that's free or non-existent. So this will give us the index, so that also means that we can skip all the blocks that are before our empty index. So let's see. When we do this, the defrag, let's see, we can do first empty index is disk dot. Actually, this is part of the code now, so I can just take this. Index, and actually there should always be empty space, right? So let's just turn this into something that will throw an error if it doesn't work. We just say there's always empty space, otherwise there's nothing to do anyways. So the first empty index here, and we should probably check for each block here that we only do the ones that are after the index. Let me think. Because up until here I was like, okay, just all the blocks inside of the file, we just clear them and then re-add them. And actually that still should be able to work, but it needs to be able to reoccupy its own space. So let's just filter the ones. Let's see, for blocks to move equals to move the blocks where index is larger, no, actually smaller than first empty index. Oh. Now we cleared them, and we also need to make sure that we don't take the total size, but we need to take the size of these. So we take some like this. So we don't assume that we have to move the entire file, we just take the ones that we need to move. We clear the file ID of those, which basically makes them empty blocks. So this is just like on a real disk. If you delete the file system entry, the data will still be on disk, but there's nothing pointed to it, so the disk will think it's free space, right? So that basically works the same way. Let me just add a little bit more to my drink. Normally I drink cappuccinos, but I ran out of milk, so I'm drinking some sugar water. Well, sugar-free, but still. So how many of you in chat have done Advent of Code today? And how long did it take you? Let me see, phrase block and... I'm also thinking, I still actually need to do this in the thing that gets the new block here as well. Let's see, here we dequeue the file. This is the check to make sure that we don't do anything else. So here we can do block to move is this, length to move becomes that, and we need to have a different alias inside here, like this. So this should make the second pass work, I think. I think if I do this, what's happening? Boom, 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 boom. Nineberry says about an hour and a half for both parts combined. I'm already past that and I haven't even done part 1 yet. Oh, and there's something wrong. Okay, I think like the input is borked or something. Let me see. See, I'm just like right line disk. The toString is hanging somewhere. Maybe I need to restart Visual Studio because I'm just asking too much of it. Let's see. Long says 20 minutes for both, an hour and a half for best complexity solution for part 2. Okay. Blowfish Fugu, greetings friends of about 120 minutes because I wanted to simulate a file system. Yeah, guilty here as well. Why doesn't it let me open my Advent of Code solution? Let me see where I actually have my code. For some reason, like the file jumper doesn't keep track of it as well here. AOC. Was it this one? Nope. Was it this one? Let's hope it doesn't spit out any keys. Yeah, okay, that's it. This is the good one. We don't need diagnostic tools. Okay, I broke something. That's nice. Wait. Am I wrong in my assumption here? Oh no, the first time the empty index is there. It's the second pass where I run into this. The indexes need to be larger actually than this. Never mind, I had the logic the other way around. It needs to be larger than the first empty index. It's still not working correctly, but at least we're closer. So we're still at this case, but then I wonder why it messes this up. So it will try to do the 6s again, but then it just takes all those out and puts them here. So the issue remains. Right now it's just stable going back and forth. So it still needs to make sure that it knows how to do the case where not the full thing has to be moved. Let's see. Then the afternoon. Nineberry says, and then in the afternoon, breaks during work, spend some time on making code look a bit cleaner. There was a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, I have that always. Like if I go back to yesterday's code, this is yesterday's code, but when I was writing it was also multiple screens and duplicates, and yeah, now it's also nice and succinct. So the trick is still just handling this proper case. So I can't, and I'm just thinking about what is the way to detect it, right? Because we're trying to, the step before we do this, it tries to put this last one here while it knows that there's free space available. Like one thing that I could do is as you make free space, you add it back to the free space, but you can't modify the collection while you're enumerating it. So you have to do that in a different way and reorder that. That just becomes a pain, but I think I actually have to do it like that. And so also this blocks to move part, it's not really needed. It's an okay check, but I can just do without them. Total let me see, to move, I can still do it like this, and this will be to move dot blocks. So what I could do here is just do like free space dot add block, and then I need to reorder that, which is annoying, but fine. So then I could do let's see, Neil Stud, I had the same problem and never solved it. I just scrubbed all the gaps and it didn't matter anymore. Yeah. But now this one becomes an issue because you can't modify this collection while you're enumerating it, right? So this can become a queue actually. Didn't I already make it a queue? This one was a queue. Let me think. I mean, I could also make this a queue. Why not? Block. Okay. Actually, there is like a priority queue would work here, but yeah, I'll refactor it later. I just want to make it work right now. This is so bad, but it will work for now. Boom, 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 boom. Union. So I don't need to add them here. Just do it like this. I don't need to do the blocks to move stuff. This one becomes to move that total size. Like this. And this one to move dot blocks. So this makes sure that I re-add the stuff that I remove and reclaim it. It feels very dirty and wrong, but let's first get it working before we do something else. And I don't need to do, we do var block is free space .dq. And we do while free space count larger 0. This, boom. think this should keep the logic the same, except for the build errors. I forgot, okay, damn it, I forgot an accolade somewhere. That's the worst kind of error. Let me see the else case here, that looks fine. Let's see. This logic part works. If it breaks out of this one, then it should break there. Yeah, I think this is okay. If I break, yeah. Okay, let's see. I have the same weird issue that it won't start. Okay. Oh, it worked right away. I need to check if it's correct, but let me see. It's always nice when you surprise yourself because things work. Okay, let's see. That one is this. Yay! Okay. Whew. That was a struggle and a half. But now I wonder why the code goes back into defrag, because the contiguous... I didn't do a defrag in between. Okay. So after this I should do disk.defrag var empty space. Like this. Okay, let's run. Okay. Defrag count 1, okay. So I'm just wondering which blocks does it still say has where x is free space. Length 0. Wait, what? Okay. So there are 2 length 0 blocks in there, so that's interesting. How does a block become length 0? Ah, I think I know. That's my defrag function where it fits. So I did a length is this, and what I need to do, if block.length is 0, I should remove it. I should remove the free space blocks like this. We fully use the block, so remove it. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, nice. So now it works. And I think I need to close this output. Let's run it again. So now it should just run once. Boom. It fixed all the non-contiguous white space and built it up into one big white space block. And now it works. Okay. Whew. It only took us 2 hours, but we got to the test input. Okay, so now let's see how this actually works. The file ID numbers. Okay. the first block's position multiplied by its file ID number. Do I understand that? 0, 1, and this one is okay. So every index has their file ID number. Okay. Pooh, that's another annoying one. Haha. That's an annoying one. That will bite me in the ass later on, for sure. Yeah. So now I need to, okay, I need to build this checksum. So let's do that. Public ulong checksum. Ulong result is 0. Return result. No, return result. Calculate checksum. Okay. Let's see. So we need to enumerate all the blocks. So var ordered blocks is blocks order by x dot index. I can do a list of block like this. For each var block and ordered block. Now we do how did they do this? So they do the index times the yeah, okay. The index times the value. So we do block dot index. Actually, no, this doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Never mind. So we do for var I is this I smaller than block dot length I. Sure, because this can get very long, it's fine. So now we do result plus equals I times block dot file ID dot value. Where x is not is free space. Oh, we actually don't need to order it, now that I think of it. So we don't actually need to order it, we can just enumerate blocks actually here, we don't care. And we do if block that is free space, if not is free space, we do this. So we know that this one has a value, and that is fine. So now we can do P1 equals this dot checksum. Let's make it a U-long. And all my test cases, etc. It's fine. Okay, never mind. I'll make it a long for now. It's getting so messy. I already set up the test answer, right? Let's see, I have the drive and the block and the file. I have the test input here. So let's see if the test works. Nope. 0. Wait, what? Haha, that's interesting. Set next statement. Move on. Are the indexes effed? No. So this is I times. Wait, what? Why is file ID not set? Did I forget to set those? This is weird. Because is free space should only be false when file ID doesn't have a value. So if it's not free space, file ID should have a value, except file ID, file ID is 0 here everywhere. Okay, why? Let me make sure that I set that up properly. My blocks have file IDs, right? Result. Blocks. No file ID. How is that possible? Oh, here they have a file ID. No, there are file IDs here. So everything has a file ID, but maybe my defrag doesn't add the file ID when I build it up again. So let's make sure that my defrag function works. Defrag new block file ID has. That's weird. How is that possible? No, there are file IDs here. There are file IDs here, so why isn't... yeah, sure. The first time it's 0, but now file ID 1. Okay, just a bug in my logic here. This should be actually index plus length. Never mind, sorry for that. Boom, okay, so now it works. So part 1, it spit out the correct value. Whew! File ID 0 for the... Yeah, I know, but I had a bug in my loop. Let's go to the logic for calculate checksum. I had the length here set to the block length. And when length is 3, it will never, because it will start at index, but it needs to end at index plus block length to do the math. So, stupid mistake. The first file should have an ID of near. Yeah, so yes, but I was also just being stupid about my for loop, which made sure that it would never count it. So it's fixed now. So now let's run the actual input and see what happens. False. Boom. Arithmetic operation. Oh, was there a new line here in the end or something? I should probably trim the input. Yeah, forgot about that. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Maybe something like long, I don't know. The answer is a big integer. Okay, I will run into that here. System overflow exception. So yeah. The free space is now longer, bigger of course. I need to add that as well. So this can now be u long. I'm fine with that. Which also means that I need to change something. Let's see if this thrashes, but that's fine. Remaining free space is block.length. Remaining free space here, I can just make this a u long as well. But then I think I might have another issue somewhere. Length to move, yes. In this case, I can safely cast it to a byte because it's smaller than the length here. So yeah, lots of magic left and right. And I should probably not write out some of this stuff. I still write it out somehow. Let's see if this is correct. Woohoo! Gold star! Yee! Yeah, that took a while. But my file system works. Oh my god. I should remove this one. My kids are cheering me on. So let's hope part 2 isn't too complicated, because I kind of want to put them to bed and read to them as well. They are 8 and 11, so they say, that was tough. Yeah, that was a tough one for daddy. Let's see, I should remove this one here. It's extra pressure because I have my 2 daughters of 8 and 11 watching me right now, so I have to do my best. Let's see, so if I run this again, and this is already kind of slow, so I probably should optimize it some further, but let's see. Continue to part 2. Upon completion, 2 things immediately become clear. First, the disk definitely has a lot more contiguous free space, just like the amphipod hoped. Second, the computer is running much more slowly. Maybe introducing all of that file system fragmentation was a bad idea. The eager amphipod already has a new plan. Rather than move individual blocks, he'd like to try compacting the files on his disk by moving whole files instead. This time, attempt to move whole files to the leftmost span of free space blocks that could fit the file. Attempting to move each file exactly once in order of decreasing file ID number, starting with the file with the highest file ID number. If there's no span of free space to the left of the file that is large enough to fit the whole file, the file does not move. Okay. Have you, Rolas asked, have you started to teach your daughters how to code? Yeah, a little bit. My oldest one, she got into Rubik's Cube, so I taught her how to do the Rubik's Cube.
And then I showed her how there's like timing, etc. So I helped her write her own cube timer. So she can hit a space bar, solve it, and then hit it again, and it will show her how long she took to solve the cube. And like for her Dutch homework, she sometimes has to do like word finder puzzles, and she really hated those. So I showed her how to create a solver for those. So we wrote a solver to solve the word finder puzzles. And we actually used like a Dutch newspaper site that does daily one of those, read them in, run through our own program, and it worked. So that was really cool. So yeah. I try to do a little bit when I can. And I actually asked them, do you want to maybe try Advent of Code? And they said, well, yeah, I want to try. So I will have to take some time to show them the basics. Like for me, I really love coding. I discovered it when I was about 12 years old and I fell in love with it right away. I've been coding all my life, and I just really try to share that with everybody I know when I can. But I also know that if you want your daughters or sons or whatever, if you want somebody you know to also love coding, the worst thing you can do is push them into having to do it. So I will teach them anything they ask me, but I won't force them to or push them in that direction. I think it will be really cool if they like to do it, but it's not for everybody, and I won't force them because it has to be fun, right? I like coding a lot, and if I just make them do it, they will resent it, and that's counterproductive anyway. So yeah, at least that is my approach to it. So let's read this question. The eager amphipoda, yeah, we read this already. Okay, the first example from above now proceeds differently. So the 9, where does it go? It still goes to the end. Then the 8 goes nowhere because it doesn't fit. So the 7 then goes to that spot. Then the 6 doesn't go, the 5 doesn't go, the 4 goes there, etc. The process of updating the file system checksum is the same now. Okay. Is it me, or does this just seem easier? Maybe because of the way that I code it, but to me it seems easier than what I already did. Which is funny. So let's see if I eat my words, but yeah. Maybe easier to code, but a lot harder to run. No, not exactly. Because I have all the data already. I have those ordered already, so I can just take the last one, look at the first block, and move over. So I don't think it's that much harder to run. And maybe because my original code was already slow. So So I will just, because I should set up a Git and put it in there, but I will just copy this whole code for now. Defrag whole files. Let's also go back to the test input. Let's get the new test answer there as well. So the test for P2 is this. Oh, by the way, if you see some of the helper code that I use, I think I have a video on my YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out. That also links to some of the helper code, etc. So for the people that don't watch me regularly. For me, part 1 was ON, part 2 is O of n squared, part 2 improves. Okay. Let me go back here. So this is fine. I saw your video on Albert Heijn. Does the website work again? Yep, it does. So aha.nl. I posted that in a way that it wouldn't go out with a notification to subscribers, but yeah, so I can quickly show it. So I just made, I tried to order some milk, as I said, for for whatever, for the office, so that I can make my cappuccinos. And the grocery store that I usually order it, they deployed some bug where the top bar would just hide after it loaded in. So I created a quick screen recording and sent it to them on Twitter. Luke asks, still struggling? No, not still struggling. I just completed part 1 after fixing it, and now I'm doing part 2. So this will defrag whole files. I have the extra accolade there. So that was the missing part that I had before. So now we don't care about the white space. That's what happened when there's not automatic test for the front end law. Yeah. So we can now do while files count larger than 0. So this will loop through all the files backwards, and I don't need a queue of free space. I can just do a list of free space. And we can do int last used free space index is -1. Let's just do that. Nope. Let's see. So what we need to do is while files.q larger than 0. Var file is file.dq. Okay. And now we do for int I is last plus 1. Free space len is length. So count, also correct. I smaller than this, increment I. Oh no, this isn't correct because I have to check it every time. So that is fine. So we don't care about the last used free space index. But what I can do is actually make it better. Because I can index this by length. So what I can do is this becomes a dictionary of int block free space. And we do blocks where that we do group by x dot length to dictionary x of key x dot order by index, and this needs to be y y index dot I can do it like this with the new notation. Boom.
put this all somewhere that we can read it properly. Group by length. Then we put it into a dictionary. What's the issue here? Cannot control lambda long because of wait, what? This is the key select element selector. Element selector. Boom. Key selector. Do I just need to make sure that I do this to list? Why is it complaining? Ah, because it's a U long. Fine. Okay. So now would it let me do? Ah, it still doesn't like that. Okay. Screw it. It's fine. We do it like this. Logong says that's what happened. Oh yeah. Okay. We've done that. Okay. So this is our available free space. So now we can just check if available free space, the try get value file dot length. No, file dot. Oh no, that's also not true because we need to find everything that's. We need to find one that fits. We need to find the lowest index one that fits. So it's probably still faster to just enumerate it. Never mind, back to the drawing board. Boom, 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 boom. So let's get back to free space. For free space, no, it's a list of block. Free space is like this. Order by index. And we just need to enumerate this every time until we find one that fits. So for each block in free space, if block.length larger or equal to file.length at the total size, yes. EA. Okay. So we also need to have a bool found. Found is false. Found is true. Break. If found. We need to remove the block, or actually relocate the block. Yeah. We never have to look at back to the right again, so that is fine. I wonder if no, I don't think so. Okay, let's see. I also need to do just like block, free block. Okay, I can do free block is block. So that I have a reference to it, and then I can do stuff here. Because now I need to change that. If block, let's see, int remain is block.length, free block.length minus file.length. The total size also fine, because this is ulong, and this is a ulong. I think they are way bigger than they need to be, but that's fine. Can be null here. No, it's not. It's not null. Don't worry, because we found it. If remain larger than 0, create a new free block. I'm just thinking if I want to actually, for the lore, keep it keep it fully correct, and I probably want to do that, because basically I can swap indices and change the lengths, but if it's larger I need to create a new block as well. So what I can do, like if it fits, and it always fits, you just have to make sure that that I add a new block here. So let's make sure that we have a new block. This will always be an empty block. The length will be remain. The index will be free block dot index plus file total size. This doesn't matter. This will just be 0 because it's a free block, and we do blocks add new block. We also need to add to the free did I call it free space? Free space, yes. I need to make an I comparer, right? Comparer of ulong. Create actually no, this is block. Dot index. So b dot index -1 1. I think this is correct, except the sorting needs to be the other way around, right? Let's make sure that I check this. Nineberry, programmers are well known for underestimating and overestimating tasks. Yes. Martin says, I remember, Nick, you said this stream will be a short one. yeah. Famous last words. But I'm having fun though. Only issue is that it's getting late, and I know now probably won't get to put my daughters to bed. So that's not so great. So let's focus and make sure that I try to get home at a somewhat reasonable time. Let's see. So I need to check this, and I think I can just delete this. I need to take that logic from somewhere else. If it remains, it's fine. I also need to make sure that I do I can just swap the indices. So I can do file dot file id dot id. So basically we take free block dot file id is file id, and then file dot id. Oh yeah, I need to swap this over as well. And my daughter just said I can't watch a whole stream then. Aww. Such a cutie pie. because this will be, it will all just have a single block dot file ID. This becomes really annoying because I need to remove this block. So the file block equals file.blocks.single, and then file.blocks.remove file block, file.blocks add free block, because this is now no longer the free block, and then we do file block.id is null. So now it's now they are swapped. And I need to remove this block from the free space because, yeah, I need to do that anyways. So here I can do free space as remove free block. That needs to happen one way or the other. And this logic always just needs to happen actually. It's just that if the remain is smaller, I need to make sure that I set the file size to be the size of the file block. Like the file block, the free block needs to get the proper length. So the length is file block.length. I think this is the logic. So if we have space left over after we've used this space, create a new block to take that space. Index just moves over like this, and then we swap the blocks. So the free block that we used gets a file ID. The file block gets pulled from the block that's currently there, and it gets removed because this one will get its ID removed. So let's just do it, the file block operation here as well. So the free block length is then adjusted to the proper length that we used, and that should be it. Famous last words, I know, but now I should do for part 2 is disk dot accept we need a new disk. I parsed it here as well, so that is fine. Boom. Here P2 is still calculate the whole sum. So let's see if this works. $3,419. So I don't think that was correct. 2858. Okay, but let's see what it actually did. Welterusten, tot morgen. My daughters have to go to bed. It's 9:30, so 8:30 in the evening. So yeah, it's time for them to brush their teeth and go to bed. I will have to read a little longer story tomorrow. Good night. Let me see. Oh yeah, I was going to write out the disk. So here, console.writeLine. I can just actually do disk here. So let's see how it looks. Oh, that's weird. Why didn't it do the 99 first? Interesting. Let's step through it and see what happens. So the free space, yeah, that is correct. But the files, I didn't check my sort. I didn't check my sort logic. That's the issue probably here. Because free space is now from 12, 18, so it got another one added. So now, oh no, the sorting is oh yeah, the sorting, I did this the wrong way. It still needed to be ascending. Never mind. Let's see. Still didn't do what I expected it to do, which is interesting. Okay, let's step through it. It should be minor, but let's see. The first one should be the 9 9s, right? No. Wait, what? Files at order by descending. These are all the files. Ah, did I DQ too? I probably DQ it. Yeah. I'm not that smart because everything here is just not what I need. So I don't need this, don't need this, don't need any of this. Never mind, let's run it again. Oh, and now it runs to completion, so I think it works. Yep, it works, never mind. Okay, so a silly little bug like that. So let's remove this one and run the full input. And now we wait. So that took a while, but we have an answer. My answer is too high. Oh my, no. Oh no. That's annoying. I didn't expect that. So yeah, now how do we debug this? How do I always manage to do something like this where we solve it for the test input, but the actual file doesn't work? I think I know what might happen, because I keep going for too long. I go past the point where I should stop, probably, because once the free space index is above the current file index, I shouldn't do it. So if block.index is larger than file.blocks, okay, let me just do, this is ulong, right? Okay, ulong first block index. So I can do is file.blocks 0.index. Let me see. Do I still have the output somewhere? That's a different number. Okay. So that's what I wanted to submit. This is what I just submitted. So. Woo! Part 2! Okay. Let me just tell my wife that the kids can see. Just finished part 2. Okay. I'm glad I got that in the end. Yay! Sad that my kids couldn't see me finish this part. I was 8 minutes too slow, sadly. But yeah, we got it. So yeah, and the idea that I had was correct. I just make a stupid mistake, like not making, making sure that I don't go over. Make sure you stop looking for free space when you pass your own index. Okay, that should be it. And now there's a lot of code to clean up, but I won't do that on stream right now. I will take a look at, or maybe I'll do that tomorrow and I go home right now and still be able to read them a story. I think we'll do that. And yeah, they say you can make part 1 a lot faster if you use 2 pointers. Yeah, I'm sure I can optimize this by a whole lot, but I had a lot of fun writing it like this. But yeah, I'm sure there's way easier ways to do this. So normally I would go to my Discord and watch through the submissions that some other people made. I can share a link here for people that want to. This is my Discord, and I use it mostly just for Advent of Code and shout out some other great people. Usually after I stream, I go over other people's code, review it, look at what they did. But tonight I'm gonna go home and go read to my kids, because that's more important. And I'll do the code review tomorrow, if you don't mind. So yeah, let's see if there's somebody we can quickly raid on Twitch to pay it forward. Let's see, software and game dev, Advent of Code 24 tags. Let's see if there's somebody streaming Advent of Code. If somebody has a suggestion, feel free. I see there's 5 people streaming Advent of Code right now. I can pull it up here. So we have somebody in Go. Clouds FTP is still streaming. Let's see, twitch.tv/cloudsftp. Okay, I'll mute myself so that I can listen to the stream and then do the raid. So thanks, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
CSS.